Well, today's September 12th. It's been 2 days, uh, 2 days of very interesting news and events going on. I think we all know what's been happening. Um, but I think what we wanted to do is just start this off with a little bit of humanity with all of the discourse out there, all the people on the left celebrating the murder assassination of Charlie Kirk, someone they vehemently disagree with, which is fine. You can do that. But to take somebody's life from them because you disagree with what they think and what they say is a little vile in my book, and probably yours as well, right, Rude?
Yes, sir.
So let's kind of just show a little bit of the humanity that was taken away, uh, and just to give people an idea, this is a man with a family. You know, this is a beautiful wife, his beautiful children, and this was all taken from her, from those children. That little baby, he's about what, one, and I think his little girl is like three,
Yeah, I think in those photos, yeah, I think their report is 4 and 2 now.
something like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
they're young. They're
yeah,
young.
young. And as much as you may disagree with what he said, he was a human being. He was a husband and a father, like we said. And then this one here just kills me. But this. I think any dad can relate to this, and this will tear at your heartstrings. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
that that
brutal.
that one's tough in a lot of ways.
Okay. Well, is if you couldn't hear it, she was running up and she goes, "Hi, Daddy," and it's like, if you're a dad, and you are, and you have little girls, and when they were like that age, and they would see you when you come home, or when you're at work or wherever, and they run up to you, like, I mean, there's nothing better in the
Yeah.
world, I don't think, than seeing that, whether it's your daughter or your son or whatever.
Hmm.
So this is what we're going to talk about today. There's a few things with this whole incident that we have some questions about that don't make sense, and it just sure seems like that this Tyler Robinson, who they have now identified as the as the suspect, as the potential assassin, um, we're not so sure, and we could be wrong, but we're going to question a few things here that just don't make sense.
I mean, that's I feel like that's our job, Barn.
Yeah.
We when we say, question everything, we say it often, and we say it in our sign off. We mean it. I mean, we take it seriously. We do, and we do that so we don't turn into blind sheep.
Right.
Following the pack. We both kind of have that mentality, and there's some things that me and Barn disagree on, and that's why it's important to question everything, to see both sides, see all the angles that you can before you make an educated. I mean, I think that's what forms the educated opinion or the educated thought,
Right.
or what you're going to land on as your quote unquote truth.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's an important thing to do, and we advocate it. And even with this, we have questions.
Yeah. And we shouldn't just blindly take what's been spoon fed to us from these people, even if it's somebody that you think you can trust, like a Cash Patel. I'm sorry, I don't trust our governor, Spencer Cox. I think half of what he says is legit. The other half, I have to wonder where he's coming from, because I just don't know if he's fully invested in the people of the state of Utah sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And those who don't know, both me and Barn reside in Utah, so this whole situation hits really close to home.
Literally, because this is like a half hour from where we are.
Yeah, and we have students, or our children are of that age, and they go to school, and there was another tragic school shooting the same
Mhm.
day in Colorado.
Yeah.
And that scares me too, you know what I
Oh, yeah.
mean? And we see this stuff going on, and again, like you said, it hit in our backyard,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that it really kind of sparked something in us as well. I mean, not to say that any other tragedy is any less important, but it is. It opens your eyes a little bit. It shakes you a little bit harder
Yeah.
when it's in your backyard.
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to get into talking about this, and we're going to try to hopefully point out a few things that make it, at least if nothing else, make you question. Well, wait a minute, maybe we have a point here. And then there's a few other videos. I'll put in the links that you can check out. They're just a little too long for doing on the podcast today because we don't want this going forever and ever. Everybody and their mother is doing something on Charlie Kirk.
Mhm.
Obviously, we need to add our 2 cents in there. It just makes sense. We'd be irresponsible, I guess, if we didn't. So we're going to add that. So, welcome to the Rude Barn podcast, everyone, and we'll be. All right, welcome to the Rude Barn podcast. I got my buddy Rude right over here. How you doing today?
Yo yo.
And I am the Barn, and we're talking about the big story of the last couple of days, and it's a tragic story. And I don't know if anybody was able to see or wanted to. I don't think I really wanted to, but ended up actually seeing the video where he did get shot, and you saw things happen. That sticks with you, and it's kind of hard to get out of your mind. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
And what a shame. What a shame that people who disagree with Charlie, and we don't necessarily agree with everything Charlie says, like with anybody, we'd be fools, we'd be sheep if we did. But I sit there when you're discussing things with your friends on the other side who have a different belief and opinion on various topics than you do, and all that. I mean, the last thing I would ever think to want to do is to do something like this to any of their like-minded folks or somebody they look up to and they follow. And so, to have them, not them, but to have these people, and we're going to go into a few of these leftists who are celebrating this victory, they think in their minds that they have silenced somebody who speaks differently than they do and has a different opinion. And when you look right and get right down to the nuts and bolts, it's pretty sad and pathetic that's the mentality that's out there.
Yeah.
And disgusting, actually.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. I mean, when you let again, I mean, it goes back to questioning everything. When you let a society or you let a certain group dictate your thoughts, your 100% thoughts and feelings about someone or something, then this is the kind of thing that happens. And one of the things that you're right. I also didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said or did or something like that. But he was a human, and but what I did really enjoy about him, what I did really love about him, it was that what he was doing was nobody else was doing it, and it is a very good thing to do.
Oh yeah.
One of his biggest or most well-known kind of statements, and I'm just kind of paraphrase this, is that when we stop talking, that's when the violence starts, right? And really, he just wanted to have the conversation. He wanted to get on the same page, wanted to try to, connect with people with a different viewpoint than him and see where they could find some middle ground, and obviously, people aren't always going to agree. You're not going to walk away from every conversation in total agreement. However, you can start to appreciate where somebody's coming from on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And doing that and making that concerted effort to do that, I think it was very patriotic, and for him to do, and his company, the Turning Point, to do, and I think overall it was positive. And when again, when you let certain people influence your thoughts about somebody without doing your own research and doing your own questioning, then that's when this kind of stuff happens as well.
Yeah.
You get caught up in the rhetoric.
And that's a great point. I think a lot of the people who are out there who are criticizing this, or giving Charlie, disrespecting him and making vile comments about his death of a family man, somebody who could be your brother, your uncle, your son, your whatever. They don't know what he really says. They just listen to the talking points, the narrative, the stuff that's been thrown out there. Oh, he's a white supremacist. Oh, he hates transgenders. Oh, he hates the gays. He hates this, that, and the other. And that couldn't be further from the truth, actually. He always wanted to debate people when he goes to these colleges, and wants to debate people who disagree with him. And he'd give them a platform, give them a microphone. Most were respectful and still disagreed, but there were some that, of course, go unhinged. And you can see these all over the internet. We don't need to bring them back up either. Just like some of the ones where, you've seen the videos of these, TikTokers who are celebrating. Yes, he's dead. We have a couple of them, but they're, it's like, how sick are you? This says a lot more about you than it does about Charlie, first of all.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to turn this into a moreover religious discussion. However, I think we'd be, leaving something out if we didn't bring that up. And a lot of these ideals and a lot of this, this motivation comes from his deep belief in Christianity. And seeing these people do that vile stuff really kind of shows, the amount of I guess faith in a God or a higher power or a higher being, how much of that is lost, especially in that generation, which is kind of sad. Because what he was doing, I mean, if you think back, to what's written in the Bible, about how Jesus walked and how he talked to people and how he helped people, how he healed people. I mean, what Charlie was doing and what Turning Point was doing was kind of mirroring that same thing. Right. And that comes from a good place. And that's what is, one of the biggest frustrating things about me. And like you said, shows what kind of people these really are. That's just pure evil. I mean, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and we all heard on the MSNBC report with Katie Tur and the Matthew Dowd piece of trash that was on there blaming Charlie and basically saying he spewed all this hate and all that. Excuse me. He didn't. He never did. Show me the hate that he was spewing that you may have misinterpreted.
Well,
because I don't think it was that.
That's the thing. We've talked about it before ad nauseum at the gaslighting, because what a normal person would say disagreed with, they spin it as he spoke hate. That those are two completely different things, black and white. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I'm glad he got fired.
Yeah,
But
me too.
but more needs to be done with these people. And we had something where somebody at the Carolina Panthers got fired for posting something that they were glad, and I hadn't seen it exactly, but from what I understand, it was something where they were glad that Kirk, that Charlie died. Somebody from, I think, the Phoenix Suns organization, they fired him immediately. There's no place for this in our organization. And so it just goes out there, and it's a shame. We'll show a few of those, but first I kind of want to get into the breaking news this morning. We are at about almost 11 o'clock a.m. right now, Mountain Time, and so this broke a few hours ago, and they're saying, hey, we just got a mugshot of Charlie Kirk's assassin, or suspected assassin, really, this Tyler Robinson. They just released it. So does this look like that kid in this photo? Where is it? This one right there. Does that look like the same kid? The nose looks a little off to me. The one with the glasses, the nose looks closer together and more pointed. And his nose, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does. Maybe it does look like the same. Very similar.
The chin and the mouth structure as well. I don't think it looks the same.
I think the chin is off. I think you're right. If you look at the chin here, it's very rounded. Very rounded.
And sunken back.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see my cursor on there, but it's got very rounded here and there. And then you look at this one, and it's very defined. It's very defined. This is not the same guy as far as I can tell. The mouth is not the same. Look at his mouth. In the picture of the black shirt, the mouth and the corners go down. If you look at his, Tyler Robinson's, the corners of his mouth kind of go up more. It doesn't, it's not in, if you can see in this picture, it is not falling like it is in the other picture. It's kind of going straight, and then when he smiles a little, of course, it goes up. But this one, it's definitely going down. I don't know. The chin makes more sense to me. Let's look at the ears. So we've got, looks like, I guess the ears are detached, if you want to call it. So you have the little lobes. They don't just go right into his face. These are definitely detached here. So, I mean, they could be a possible. I mean, it's fairly close, but yeah, just the facial structure itself, it's similar, but I'm not buying it, really. I would say this is very circumstantial, but doesn't prove anything yet.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I look at the shoulders. His shoulders here, the kid in the black shirt, are a little more broad. His kind of go down a little bit more, not quite as broad. I don't know. It's suspect. This is the other mugshot, same one. This is the kid. Okay, so I'm looking at his ear. Look at his ear here. I don't see a distinct lobe hanging down on his earlobe there. Whereas on this other picture, that's a distinct separation of the earlobe to his head, his face, right?
It is, and even the mouth structure too, because you see how like he's got that fuller top, like top gums and everything like that is fuller, almost like when you could almost see him talking, he would have a little bit of a lisp because his teeth are a lot bigger. In his mouth, you know what I mean? And the guy in the black shirt, he doesn't look like he has that mouth structure. Like, okay, I
can see it in this picture, and exactly what you're saying. Look at it. It almost looks like he has,
it almost like it
overbite.
Overbite, and it almost looks like it pushes the top of his lip out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just a little bit.
Yeah, and his jaw, his chin is pushed out more, but it's very rounded. You know, I mean, is that the same chin, dude, as this?
It's not.
He's got like kind of a, dimple. What is it? The dimple in the chin, whatever.
The dimple right in the middle. Chin, yeah.
Not the cleft, but or something. But anyway, it just doesn't seem like the same thing to me. And then we have this prick.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing that got a lot of people going, what the F is going on with this douchebag here? You know, I mean, he's sitting there. This is literally seconds. Charlie got shot. Charlie's
Yeah.
laying down
Yeah.
behind
They hadn't even
that
picked him up
camera.
off the ground yet.
Yeah. What the fuck is this guy doing?
I hope that, I guess, the best that we can hope for is that, that, karma catches up to these type of people.
Yeah.
Because that is just a blatant display of disregard for human life and humanity just in general. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's almost the same as cheering at the base of the Twin Towers as the planes were going in. I mean, it's
yeah. What are we, third world animals like those that cheered that in the Middle East when that happened?
Yeah. I mean, it's disgusting. It's a disgusting display for for the, I guess, the unity that we should have as a country.
Yeah. I mean, here's a close up, and apparently they have identified this prick, this rotten piece of human debris, this trailer trash gutter vermin pulling this shit, and they've identified this guy. Now get this shit right here. So this is this guy, David. David is R to the power of X is his Twitter or X name right there. We could follow this guy, navigating a recursive probabilistic framework from quantum to astrologic, information to sentience, chaos to order, paradox, duality, infinity, R to the X. I mean, okay, buddy. Okay. And apparently this guy's a father also.
Really?
Apparently this guy is a father also. So he goes, losing, let's see, I think he responded to her. I can't remember how the direction this goes, but let's just start with his top one here. Losing Charlie Kirk is heavy, and we are still mourning. Trust that I'll be explaining myself very soon, but every lie about me brings me one step closer to becoming very dead and at the hands of the mob.
Oh, God.
Is this a CYA for him for being a douchebag?
Yeah.
Should I?
Definitely.
Yeah, should I die for hate or entertainment? I mean, I don't know what the fuck this is. Why would you put a statement out like this after you've been caught red effing handed?
It's classic gaslight again. You know what I mean? He's going to... Now all of a sudden you're going to play poor me.
Yeah. Now,
and do like pre-assumptions to what might happen to you.
So what are you going to kill me now? Am I going to be another martyr? Because, I mean, this is truth will satisfy neither appetite. I'm a father. There you go. Well, oh, you are. Then why are you celebrating another father getting his head blown off, basically?
Right. Why would you do that?
And
why would it even cross your mind?
And I feel the weight of Charlie's loss to his family. Sure doesn't look like it in that video.
Yeah.
I stand for my fallen brothers. Yeah, you stood and cheered. That's the only standing I saw you do.
Who's his fallen brothers?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Yeah. Because
what does that mean?
That was disgusting.
Yeah. Who are these fallen brothers you refer? We are unequal in risk at this moment. I'm serious. Did Chat GPT help him write this?
Well, that's classic poor me. You do something wrong, and then all of a sudden, you're the victim.
Yeah,
and you're the self-portrayed victim.
Yeah, we are unequal in risk at this moment. So if I address my actions, it will be after some time. Sometime, so you can spin your story right and get all your ducks in a row. So
that just proves that, you're not gonna take. He'll never take responsibility for this. He'll never own up to it. He'll never, never.
Yeah,
that's all that tells me.
Yeah. Well, get this next line. I didn't wish to have my face everywhere. Oh, really? Then why the hell were you the only one out of 3,000 plus, give or take, people who was standing up, arms in the air, laughing, smiling, cheering right after Charlie got shot, and you didn't want to have your face everywhere?
Yeah, but you deliberately turned and looked to find. You had to have turned to look to find somebody who was filming.
Yeah.
And look straight at the camera while you were cheering.
Yeah. I didn't wish to have my face everywhere. I'm terrified for my family. Oh, really? You're terrified for your family and sad for Charlie's too. I cannot bear both. Please pray for Charlie's family. This guy is a narcissist. This guy is a delusional dirtbag, piece of shit. This J6er Jessica Watkins replied, I don't want anyone dead, you or anyone else, but why were you so excited to see a man die? And now you want to retcon history? And act like you weren't happy about it. I drew attention so the security team could escape. It was dumb. I don't regret it. What? None of that makes any fucking sense at all.
You don't regret it, but you say you're gonna explain it later at a later time.
No, but let you know it was dumb. It was dumb of me to do that, but I don't regret it. But you were doing this to draw attention so the security team could escape. What was the security team escaping to or for? Or why would you say the security team? Did you mean the potential shooter?
Yeah.
Is that what you were trying to do? Because that was the old guy. The old guy got caught saying he was the shooter. Remember that old guy in the blue shirt? The fucking 80-year-old guy?
Yeah, that they spent an hour screwing around with.
Yeah, then decided, oh, well, it wasn't him.
Oh, shit, it wasn't him.
Well, yeah, no shit. You think Grandpa could have gotten on that roof and done everything he did and get away? Do you think that was a distraction? That makes me wonder, of course, and everybody out there is thinking the exact same thing we have been. How many people were involved with this? Because why? Yeah, why is this old guy saying that he was the shooter? They take him down, they question him, they all, the dude in the blue shirt and glasses, white hair. We all saw him. But he certainly wasn't the one. And I got the video footage that you guys may have seen by now of the shooter or the person on the roof jumping down off the roof. We're going to get into that because that's very suspicious as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Jessica responds, wow, that's the best you can come up with? Not even plausible. How did you know where he was? Your back was turned at the time. Just admit you're happy he died and stop playing games. We aren't stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
A freaking man. And you expect us to believe all that? And then we have these types of people. I'm not even going to play that, but this guy's chanting, we got Charlie in the neck, in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck, in the neck. I mean, oh my God, what is wrong with these douchebags, soulless motherfuckers who have no respect for humanity at all? Yeah. These people don't deserve any to be around or anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice here. I shouldn't be, but I'm trying to be nice.
Well, I guess my question is though too is by doing something like this, when it comes your turn for your last breath,
yeah,
how would you want people to react?
Yeah.
Would you want them to react with sympathy, care, and understanding? Or would you want
the golden rule, right? The golden rule.
Or would you want them to act like this?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I want to ask all of these people who are doing this. Like, how would you feel if that was your father?
Yeah.
Or your brother?
Yeah.
Or you? How would you feel if you knew this was going on in the background? Like, would that be justified for for okay, say this is your passion, about cheering
Yeah.
for the demise of a great person in my opinion. But
Yeah.
okay,
Whether you agreed with them or not. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
so okay, well, this is your crusade.
Right.
What would you have people say about you, if you got picked off out of a crowd?
Right. Right. I mean, it's just, I don't get the mentality of these people. I think they are all sick and freaking wrong. They're disgusting human beings. They're vile. They're not even human at this point. It is absolutely disgusting that you would have these types of people out there doing this shit. And it's a real sad state of our country when we have so many people, all who seem to be on one particular side of the political spectrum. And can you guess which side that might be?
Well, it's the division, and one thing that in the press conference that Cox said this morning that I did really like,
Which is a
was
shocker because we don't like a lot of what he has
yeah,
to say.
yeah, he's kind of a but one thing he did say that stood out to me, was he was really proud, and he was really grateful that there were vigils being held.
Yeah.
There weren't riots, there
Right.
weren't fires, there wasn't looting, there wasn't cars being flipped over, there were vigils.
Which,
And that's how you need to act. Which excuse me, if the shoe was on the other foot,
just going to say that. What would have
guess
happened?
what city would have been burned down?
Yeah. What would have happened if it was the Charlie Kirk of the left side of the aisle
Yeah.
of the political spectrum? What if it was somebody, and I don't even know who that would be.
Yeah, I don't
AOC?
know. Yeah. AOC.
Chucky? I mean, I can't even think of who, and they're the politicians. Let's think of, who are some of the, and I couldn't even tell you who some of the left online pundits like Charlie was, because he wasn't a politician.
Right.
He helped out. But who on the left, and whoever it is, you just name, if you know who that is, put that person in there and just say, okay, so what would have happened if it were flipped around and it was them? You would see the violence. You would see the rioting. You would see the cars flipped over and burned, just like George Floyd. I mean, what a joke that whole thing was as well. And that's it's a sad state for where we are in our world. But here is the Blue Sky app. This is the leftists' Twitter account when they all ran from Twitter when Elon bought it and changed it to X. A lot of these people went in there. And these are some of the things. MAGA deciding without evidence that the shooter of Charlie Kirk was a crazy woke lib. I think everybody knew that.
Hate language.
Responding to the leftist hate language and him turning out to be God-fearing, gun nut raised in a Republican family is exactly how I would have written it. Thank you, Cosmos. I mean, the entire mainstream media environment has been working overtime to sanitize Kirk's legacy since his murder. A legacy that includes targeted harassment of professors at schools. Please provide me some examples of that. Across the country, and normalizing the notion that basic human rights are up for debate. Again, completely false and completely wrong, Shauna. Oh my God. I mean, you can just go on to Blue Sky, type in Charlie Kirk in the search. So Kirk's shooter's not trans and not an immigrant and not a person of color, and he turned himself in, which means I don't think he turned himself in, did he? I don't remember them doing. Did he do that? No, his father turned him in.
Father, yeah.
Which means Kash Patel was floundering all this time. Wow. I mean, nothing about, oh, good, I'm glad they got the guy who shot, no matter how, whatever. They got to blame Kash Patel. They got to blame Trump. They got to blame the right and the administration. They're the ones that have been doing nothing but spewing hate that Kirk and Cash and Trump and all these people are Nazis, are white supremacists, are racists, etc., etc. And this gets ingrained in all these little douchebags' heads. And so this is what they think. And they don't know because they've never listened to Charlie and they never really listened to Trump and what he's saying and understanding that half the time he's doing shit, he's trolling you stupid asses.
Yeah.
You know, but pretty clear that a lot of people jumped the gun on the motive behind Kirk's assassination. The shooter grew up in a Republican family. That doesn't mean anything. Donated to Donald Trump. Did he? And if he did, okay. Loved guns. So do I. And was steeped in Groyper culture. What is Groyper?
Groyper? I don't know. We're going to have to look that up.
Look that up for me while I hear. This isn't a simple raging leftist hated Kirk scenario. Well, it's something because people on the right, you know, are not going around shooting people, let alone Trump, let alone Charlie Kirk, let alone all of this. I hate to break it to you people. You know, I mean, you know, and it's the body is barely even cold. You know, using Kirk's death to cynically shill his own book is maybe the most honest tribute any of them have ever made to him. Speaking of books,
it refers to the Groyper Army, a group of all-right white nationalists and Christian nationalist activists led by Nick Fuentes. That doesn't sound like a white last name to me. I don't know.
No, it doesn't. The irony there.
The irony, yeah.
The irony there. I mean, I don't even want to give these people the time of day, really, but you can go down and look at the alleged Charlie Kirk shooter proudly wearing his Trump costume for Halloween in 2017. He's sitting on the back of Trump on that thing. Okay, you know. There, again, I have heard a few prominent leftist podcasters who have come out and vilified this action and and are disgusted with it. There's a lot of people are saying, well, this is why I'm no longer part of the Democrat Party. If this is the type of vitriol and hatred that is being spewed from the left, I want no part of it anymore. And I think people are starting to realize this. A lot more people. You're going to still have the freaks and the psychopaths and the lunatics. Still, you know, they'll pull this shit all the time. But it's pretty appalling to see a lot of this kind of, you know, what we're doing, and it's a sad state. And these people are sick, and not in like, yeah, you're sick. No, these people are truly sick in the head, and they need to really reevaluate their lives, I think. You know.
Yeah.
So, go through a few more of these, but then I want to talk about things that just don't make sense with this whole thing. But here is one I think that we'll like. I'll play real quick here. This is let's see. And I'm trying to remember Scott Jennings. Yeah, this is Scott Jennings here talking about this. You know, and he's being interviewed by some British gal, it sounds like, and she's trying to, you know, bait him into something, and he's like, you know what, bullshit, I'm not having any part of this. And so he replies to her, so let's listen.
Now that are causing people to engage.
Okay, and equally
at a minimum,
on the right as well, though, Scott. Equally on the right as well.
See, they're always trying to say, oh, well, it's on both sides. It's both sides.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not like the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite like the left. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we at least
Listen,
be fair?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have no time and no quarter for any criticisms of Republicans or conservatives or Donald Trump or Charlie Kirk or any other both sides in this. It's our friend who's dead, shot in the throat while doing what we're supposed to do as Americans, which is engage in civil discourse. He goes to a college, not known, colleges are not known as hotbeds of conservatism. He goes to a college to engage in civil discourse, and now he's dead because that's what he did. So I really don't have any time for both sidesing this today. It's our friend that's dead because he was doing what you're supposed to do as an American. Talk, use your voice, use your words, use your powers of reasoning, debate, speech. That's what we do as Americans. And now our friend's dead, and you want to lecture me about Donald Trump or
I'm not
conservatives
lecturing
or
you.
both
I guess
sides?
I'm just saying.
It tells me you don't really get what's happening, and
well,
so
no,
I'm happy to explain.
Yeah,
it to you,
no,
but you clearly don't.
I am, Scott, seeking to understand how, if this is not a time for rhetoric, if it is a time to remember your friend who he's been assassinated. There is no words to express how awful that act was and is. No words. And if this is a time for respectful discourse, why is a Fox News anchor saying this is war? Why is Steve Bannon saying Kirk is a casualty of war?
She doesn't understand that. She thinks war is we're all going to, bear arms and shoot anybody we disagree with now on the left in the streets. She doesn't understand the war we're talking about.
Yeah, she's not understanding the context in which they're saying it. And that's kind of, I think that's where a lot of things are lost in translation, because then now, she's going to go write in whatever paper she writes in or whatever publication, or she's going to go on whatever news outlet carries her, and she's going to reiterate those kind of things when it's not that, you know what I mean? Right. It's not, she's missing the point.
Right. And then he even said that you don't get it. You don't get the bigger picture of this whole thing. And she, quite frankly, is a very disgusting, vile person who thinks that she's right. And it's like, well, you have to take a little responsibility on your side as well. First of all, we have, forever, but you people are the ones that seem to get away with everything, and your complicit media outlets allowing it to happen and not publishing any stories that go against your narrative that are out there and hiding that information.
But not even denouncing this nonsensical violence.
How many people
I have not heard one of them denounce.
How many people? Yeah.
How terrible was this?
Put in the comments.
All they've done was spin it.
Put in the comments and please give us a link to anybody from the left who will denounce this. Not say, oh, I feel bad, I'm so sorry for Charlie's family and all this stuff. No, I want to hear somebody from the left actually say, you know what? This is ridiculous. This needs to stop. We cannot continue this on as a Democrat Party. We cannot continue this type of violence against people we disagree with. That is what I want to hear in so many words.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to hear, I'm sorry. It's a shame. I want to hear people denounce it. Do not do this action anymore. This is not what we're about as a country, as a people.
Yeah, I don't want to hold my breath because I fear that I will die before I hear that. But that's making a statement for America.
Yeah,
that's making a statement as a human being. You know what I mean?
And I have yet to hear.
If you're not going to do that, being of that party, I cannot respect you as a human being or a active participant in this United States of America experiment.
And even the political process in itself.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the political process, you need to respect the other side that you disagree with. Say, you know what? This is not how we want to run our country. We want to run it this way. We don't agree with how you say it. But the hypocrisy, it runs rampant with these people on the left because they still keep accusing us of doing everything they have done. They're the ones that are calling Trump and everybody Nazis. They're the ones saying we're white supremacists and racists, just like I said before. But the minute you call them out and you say, well, what have you done they always but Trump did this, and he puts out those mean tweets, and he does that. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can tell you, hey, Rude, I want you to go kill that person over there. Now, do you have free will to say yes, no, or what the hell are you talking about? I'm not doing that.
Right.
And that's the difference. These people are taking this. They are little minions. They are worker bees. They are the ones that take their direction and their commands from the higher ups and do the bidding of their masters.
Well, and we've all seen those montages, and they've come out a lot more in the last couple days of those Democratic leaders saying, "Well, we got to take to the streets." Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the bullet really needs to go to Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are leaders
Yeah.
advocating and almost saying, "Yeah, if you commit the crime, we'll spin it for you."
Yeah, and we'll get you out. By the way, too, you burn down cities like in the Floyd riots. We'll get you out if you get arrested. Well, Maxine Waters, if you see these people in the gasoline stations in the restaurant, you come up and you confront them. That's inciting violence.
Yeah, that is.
Johnny Depp, when was the last time a president was shot? Madonna. I really hope for the day that, I see my president get killed or what. I mean, direct threats, whatever happened to them? Any punishment?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Not one. And that's the sickening thing, because, they just brush it off as, oh, well, it was just words. You know what I mean? We weren't. But then
but words are violence.
Yeah, but if you were to hear that out of a Republican,
Oh, yeah.
or even somebody middle of the road,
you'd be canceled and
gotta
destroyed.
Lock them up.
Yep.
It's January 6th. Lock them up. Lock them up. You're inciting violence.
So one last one, and then we're going to get into the interesting things we think why this kid is not the one. Because I don't think he is, and you don't think he is, and there's lots of people that are going to probably say the same thing. But last one, where the left-wing media's shameful reactions to the Kirk killing is just appalling. And he goes through a couple of these, and we're not going to watch the whole 5 minutes here, but we'll see a little bit here, and then we'll move on to why we think this kid is not the one, and he's a fall guy and the patsy for this whole thing.
It is a dark day for America. The great and legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. That is how President Donald Trump described conservative father and husband Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated today at a rally in Utah. Now, this should be a moment every reasonable person agrees is wrong and horrific, but I was stunned and disgusted to see some of the media coverage in the wake of this murder.
Environment in which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this.
The assassination was a supporter firing a gun off in celebration. They actually put that to air. The shooting was at 12:20 p.m. Charlie was hit directly in the neck, and I've watched the video because I have to report on it, but I do not encourage anyone to see it. For so-called journalists to publish an assertion that this shot, which was from around 200 yards away, which is about 180 meters, to publish the assertion that it was an innocent mistake of a supporter is quite frankly insane. It is willfully false, and that clip is an...
And they think they can get away with that. And they have.
Yeah. Nobody's called them out on it. I mean...
It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these, and they continue to push this. Thank God this guy, what's his name? Matthew Dowd.
Dowd, yeah.
Was fired. At the very minimum, he should have been fired. There should be more punishment for that type of rhetoric. I mean, there should be some slander suits against him and a few other things, because this is asinine. Let's a little bit more of this, and then we'll move on.
Even the worst of the media's coverage. While showing footage of people running from gunshots, MSNBC thought it appropriate to provide context. They called him divisive at a time while he was dying from his wounds.
Despicable.
By the way, our affiliate in Utah, and the aftermath of the shooting, you could see people running away pretty quickly, as you would imagine they would do at gunshots. The FBI director, Kash Patel, has weighed in on this. He just tweeted the following: "We're closely monitoring reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Our thoughts are with Charlie, his loved ones, and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation." Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure.
That's bullshit.
Polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
Yeah.
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast. He opines on almost everything. He's been very closely aligned with the president since his initial run for office. And
she didn't even say in some people's view,
Right.
Like preface it with that. It was just like this divisive, polarizing figure. I mean, by whose account? Who? Yeah, is that on his resume? Is that on his business card?
Right.
I'm divisive.
Polarizing
figure.
Ultra mega supporter who's, who hates everybody and everything on the left. No,
that pisses me off, man. Like
that's that's the type of bullshit you just sit there and just go, unbelievable. And my body's not even cold yet, and you do nothing but disrespect a human being, and all of that. So let's move on to something else. And this is really kind of the question we have for, we don't believe this kid was the right one. So let's get into this here in a second. And another thing, when she sits there and she calls, Charlie divisive and all of that stuff, what is she referring to? The fact that he's a divisive figure because he says, you know what? There are only two genders, male and female. Things like that. Men cannot actually be a woman no matter how much they have surgery, and vice versa. Maybe the border should be closed. I mean, these are the divisive things that you're talking about. Divisive to whom?
Yeah.
So the media is pathetic, and this is why I don't watch it. I only watch the snippets if I have to. So, all right. So let's get back to why we think this kid's the Patsy. He's not the actual shooter. We already talked about the chin, the ears, and facial structure and before, but I'm not sure how many of you have seen what's going on here. But have you seen the videos? And somebody in here tries to say that this was him. He's disabled because he jumped off the roof, and I'm going to show that video as well. And then this is him limping. And I don't know if you've ever tried to walk with a broomstick down your pants for fun, or you put a long rifle down your pants or something, kind of thing, and try to walk. You can't really bend your knee very easily, even if it's on the side. You're not, because your pants are kind of restricting your movement. So here's this kid. And this person right here just said, this is a Somali Institute of Chinese Students or something, think tank covering China's impact on Somalia and Africa. So this is a pretty credible America First institution right here. So, I mean, look at this shit. It's like the so-called person of interest is disabled, caught on camera, limping, hobbling, dragging his right side. No way he's packing a rifle in those jeans. If he's faking it, give him an Oscar. Otherwise, a patsy, and he'll be found dead. Yep, he is the patsy, and I wouldn't be surprised. But no way he's packing a rifle. Oh, yes way there's a possibility he's packing a rifle in those jeans, dipshit.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Rude?
Well, my thing is there's a couple things, and some of the information that came out of this morning made me think a little bit different, because I saw this and I thought, okay, well, how could somebody who has a limp like this, because this was supposedly him walking to the school, right?
Yeah, this was before. Yeah.
Right, this was before. So how could somebody walking with a limp like this run full speed across that roof,
Right.
without a limp,
And jump down,
and when he landed, ran full speed toward the woods.
Yeah.
But earlier that morning he had a limp.
Yeah. How does that work?
Well, here's another thing. So, okay, well, he had a limp because obviously he had a gun down his pants. He couldn't bend his knee.
Is that a gun in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Well, suppose his supposed roommate said that in Discord messages he was saying that he had to go pick up a rifle from a certain point or something like that.
You mean he was supposed to meet his handlers type of thing, you mean?
Maybe.
Possibly?
Or the rifle was already there.
Yeah.
At the shooting point, for him to connect with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another big thing to me is, and I did have a conversation with somebody who knows this morning. We were supposed to, hoping to have him on a little bit today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. But he said that because in my opinion, I thought that this kind of had to be a professional job, because from that far away, that tight of a shot, and only one shot,
right. First and only,
yeah, a non-trained professional couldn't have pulled that one off.
Yeah.
Well, it was told to me that was actually that's actually a pretty easy shot to pull off, especially with
I've heard that too. Yeah.
High-powered scope. And I said, well, what about the wind? And this person told me that at that velocity coming from a high caliber rifle like that, at that distance, wind wouldn't have had any effect.
Yeah, very minimal, if anything. Yeah.
Wouldn't have had to. He said that the only thing that would have said that actually alluded to the fact that it was an amateur is that from where it landed, if that was the initial shot, I have questions about that too. Where it landed in the neck, it would have looked like he jerked the trigger, and that is a novice mistake. Even if you were like a gun range guy, you know what I mean, and you're there, and and you have you love guns, like the left was saying over there, and went to the range often. In that situation, your heart's obviously pounding. You're a little scared.
This is not shooting a target down range on a gun range. This is a human being you're shooting at this point. Yeah.
Right, and you're so a trigger jerk is definitely explainable. Whereas maybe you were aiming for the middle of the throat, maybe you were aiming for lower, like middle chest, and the jerk of that trigger pulled it up just enough to where it hit him here.
Yeah.
Now, and so that kind of went along with, okay, well, maybe it was a non-professional that did this. However, I mean, there were just things that just didn't add up to me.
Well, first of all, that doesn't add up to me.
That doesn't add up. And so, I mean, we can get into them a little bit further. Like it didn't look like that, the person who did the shooting that was running across the top of the roof of that building, number one, didn't have a limp. Number two, wasn't carrying a visible rifle. Okay.
Right.
And
we'll show that in the next videos.
That caliber rifle, It's either military style that you can break down and throw in a bag. This person did look like they were carrying a bag, however, didn't look rifle heavy.
No.
It looked like change of clothes heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it didn't. But again, if it was an assault rifle, wouldn't have been that heavy. Could have broken it down. Could have threw it around like that person was throwing that bag around. And then it didn't make sense to me why there would be shells kind of, just grouped up for the authorities to find right next to the rifle that did the shoot.
You're referring to the picture on the roof where the indentations and the little gravel on the roof, and they had those little things. I think those are just markers showing.
No, I wasn't referring to that.
Okay, it was something. Where did they find the shell casings or whatever?
They said they found them in the woods with the rifle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So like and I'll get back into this one video because it does show after, and it's the same house, same camera from the same house.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going the one direction into the school, and then you'll see him behind the other house running down, and then come down the driveway going the other direction, which means that was after the shooting. Right. So when somebody says that he had a limp before and he was disabled, that's a bunch of bullshit, because a disabled person can't go hopping through the woods like that behind the house and then running down the driveway and then hopping off the roof like we showed before he even gets to the spot. But the one thing I do want to mention is, you and I have both, fired guns. I'm assuming you have as well.
Yeah.
And even when you're firing a handgun, you're trying to, get it steady, and then, pull that trigger. You're pulling it slowly because you're nervous on when it's going to actually
pop
through, and that'll get your target off. Now, like you're saying, this isn't just going to the range and practicing with the scope and going down range, 200 yards or whatever, which I'm sure you've mapped out beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
You are hitting a target, but when your heart is racing, your adrenaline's pumping, you're nervous as shit because you don't want to get caught. All these things are going on. You're like, oh my God, can I get this in the first shot? Yada, yada, yada. I find it extremely hard to believe that somebody who even has gone to the range so many times is going to be comfortable enough to breathe easily and then breathe out, pull the trigger, and have a go. I find it extremely hard to believe unless you have done thousands and thousands of training shots on the range
with that specific weapon,
with that specific bolt action.
Yeah.
Okay, so I find that hard to believe. But let's get back into this because I've been showing this in the background. You saw the kid walking in front, and like you're saying, that backpack is too small even to show a folded, broken down rifle. I don't think it's big enough because you still have the length of the barrel and the stock and everything else that's in there. Maybe if it's on the angle, it just seems hard. But if it doesn't fit in the backpack and you have to put it down your legs, which is why you're limping, and that's classic limping because he's got something down his pants. Now he's running back after the shot, and we're going to show the other one where he's jumping off the roof. Are these people seeing somebody out of the corner of their eye, or are they just, too much involved with themselves that they don't see this guy running behind this house? Because I see shit out of the corner of my eye all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
It gets me. So now we got this guy running down the driveway here in a second. And there's somebody else. Look at the action going on down here, and right there. There's another person getting into the car. I don't know if it's that same couple or not. And you're in the car. You're going to see somebody running down a driveway here in a second. And it's like, and you didn't see this kid? There he is. Okay, now he's coming down the driveway. Doesn't look like he's disabled to me. And these two down here in the bottom didn't see that. I find that hard to believe, So then let's go to this next. Here are the videos of the shooter. You can see him running on the roof after he shoots at Kirk. We'll show that in a second, but this just shows this again. So now, here's the video, close up. and you'll see him running. And now he's behind the building. Now here he is right there. Doesn't look like he's disabled to me.
Running full speed.
Running as fast as he possibly can. Let's see how far this video goes. I can't remember. This is the one where it shows him walking and then the cars. Okay, so here he is. Now, somebody was driving in this parking lot that's straight down below here. Now, you don't notice somebody falling off of a roof like this. Doesn't look like he got injured to me.
No, starts running full speed again.
And you've got all of this stuff going on, and the car is coming down here. I'm sorry, if I'm driving my car, I see something out of the corner of my eye, and I see somebody jumping off the roof like this, I'm going to notice it. And I can't remember.
How wouldn't you?
Yeah, how would you not see that?
Not a maintenance worker? I mean,
that seems weird. Yeah. Now, does that look like a bag that's a rifle bag? Or is that just his backpack?
That's the thing. And you can't see a rifle strapped across his back.
Nope.
You know. And this was supposed to be a bolt action hunting rifle.
Yeah.
You know, 30 cal.
Right. I wish they would. Okay, here's where it shows a little bit. Okay, so there's a car. He sees him running. Maybe he didn't see him jumping off the roof. But here's the street coming up. You got people walking, minding their own business. You got cars driving up, and he's walking over here. I think the camera does angle on him now. Yeah, there we go. Now he's just walking. Don't look at me. Nothing to see here. And he's waiting for traffic. And this is probably the part where he runs across the street over here. I don't see anything that indicates he has a weapon at this point. So how the hell does he drop his weapon into the woods? If he didn't have a weapon, how did he drop the weapon into the woods?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. How? Answer me that, Batman.
Yeah, exactly. How the hell did he drop? Because those are the news reports. I don't have the video up on that. I thought I had it on there, but those are the news reports that he had dropped the rifle bag that was conveniently placed right where he was supposedly running back from after the shooting. But I didn't see any rifle in there. Now, granted, it could have been somehow in his little backpack, but if it was able to fit in the backpack before, why was it down his pant leg? If that's what that looks like, what else? How else would you explain that, really?
Right.
He's disabled? It doesn't look disabled right there. Sorry.
Well,
and then the shell casings and everything, other bullets and everything that he had. How do you explain that?
And that's kind of the thing. So that's, I mean, that's why I don't. If that video was this kid that they're talking about, I don't see how it adds up, because again,
something's amiss.
Something's amiss. And here's another thing: is that I don't know. You a big hunter, Barn?
No, I'm not a big hunter, except for people.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
When you let off rounds from even at the range, so I had a 30-06 hunting rifle, for a long time. Then I kind of stopped hunting and I gave it to my brother.
Which is apparently the same caliber, by the way, that this rifle was.
Basically, yeah. Bolt action, same deal.
So not semi-automatic, people.
No, not semi-automatic.
Completely manual.
And but even when you're at the range, the echo of a shot out of one of those rifles is loud. It is, you know what I mean? There and when it breaks the sound barrier, you get that boom as well. And not only the exit out of the weapon sound is a big sound, and then you have the sound barrier break almost instantly after. That's when you get the woof, you know what I mean? And so it is very loud, and it's I mean, you can feel it internal.
Yeah.
From all the videos that I saw, it's not what that gunshot sounded like. It sounded like a clack. It sounded like suppressed gunfire.
Oh, so you're saying there was a suppressor possibly on this?
Or like I said, maybe semi-automatic weapon.
Maybe a 5.56 or 2.23 or
right. And so, and they're not saying the exact caliber that they pulled out of Charlie's body, or if it exited his body.
Yeah, it looked like it didn't stay in as far as
it
was through and through. Yeah.
But it would have landed somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And forensics should have been able to pick that up, and they would have been able to
easily
figure out what caliber of bullet that was. They're not saying, and they're not showing it.
Right. Why?
So that makes those things don't add up.
Still under investigation. Oh, okay.
That was the thing. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's the caveat.
Mm-hmm.
Trump said it in his interview on Fox and Friends this morning. It's still under investigation, but they have custody in
custody. Yeah.
In custody. Same thing. And the press conference that Cash was at and our lovely Cox was at, it was all, that was a caveat. Still under investigation. Still under investigation. Still under investigation.
Yeah. Well, if you mentioned that they were saying that they found the shells or shell casings or the actual full bullets themselves, all the rounds from that, in a bag where they found the rifle after the shooting in the forest or tree area behind those houses or wherever it was, and they're not telling us what the caliber of bullet was that went through Charlie's neck that hit the back wall. There was a cement wall on that building behind him. Why are they not telling us that? That's very interesting. And why would they? And why are we not questioning that? Hey, why do we not know what the caliber, and then show us that caliber, and then have an independent forensic specialist independently verify that was the round that was shot through him, to confirm whether it was shot from the same weapon or not?
Now, those might have been a couple of the questions that were asked at the press conference. However, what I noticed, and it might have been just my feed, but I was feeding off of their website.
Yeah.
And everything was coming through very clear.
Okay.
I was getting no hiccups. However, when they said, okay, we'll take some questions now, the questions weren't mic'd up.
Of course, well, they usually aren't, but they should be.
He was just responding, and to almost like Cox, almost 3 questions, he said, "I can't speak to that right now. I can't speak to that right now."
And benefit of the doubt, still under investigation. We don't want to get any more information out than we can verify at this point. This is all going to be evidence used against this Tyler Robinson kid.
See, and I wonder if some of those questions might have been about these ballistics.
Yeah. Well, here's our local Fox station, and then we'll end this video on this because there's still more to come out. And as we're doing this video, it's about noon Mountain Time on the 12th, and we don't know what new information has gone out while we've been doing this podcast, so there may be more. But this was this morning. Not sure how long ago, but probably a 6 or 7 a.m. newscast this morning, and they're talking about how the Tyler Robinson kid they found down in Washington County. Washington County, if you don't know, is about 3.5 to 4 hours south of Orem, and they apprehended him down there. So he got away, obviously. And it just kind of makes you wonder, I don't know. There's so much so freaking weird about this. Let's listen to what they're saying.
Governor Cox, in this press conference, addressed the rumor that had been going around, now confirmed that some bullets and casings had engravings on them. Governor Cox saying some of them said, "Hey, fascist, catch." And if you read this, pardon me, it said, "If you read this, you are gay." LMAO.
Okay. I'd love to hear your viewpoint on this convenient etching of each shell, each bullet, and the gun itself. I mean, who else did you... Oh, that's right. That Catholic high school shooter in Minnesota.
That's what
Conveniently.
I'm saying. Conveniently.
Conveniently.
I was not going to share this.
We are now, though.
No, yeah, this morning,
kidding, but yeah.
but it brings up an amazing point, because if you're gonna do that, then now that seems to me, in my opinion, that seems like a the mindset of somebody who would have taken themselves out. So okay, you leave these etchings, these bullets with these etchings in them, and then you leave your manifesto,
right?
But by the time they find them, they already found you with you've blown off your own head, or you've ended your life,
taken your own life. You have killed yourself. You have committed what we call suicide.
Right.
For the adults that are listening to this, not you pansy ass triggered children.
Now, having just conveniently found these, that's classic Patsy setup.
Yes,
it is. It's so we're writing to school, and I mean, you can bash me in the comments if you'd like. However, I try to keep my children informed. Okay,
right.
And mind you, this is this child is 10. She's very smart, though. She's very quick. She deduces bullshit from reality very quickly, right?
Well, look at her dad.
Right. So
she knows, she catches this shit a lot faster.
Yeah. So we're listening to this, and we hear this come up.
Yeah.
And I said, now this is what makes it hard to believe that this guy was the shooter, because who would do that? Who would just and it's
etched, not
nicely
just written on.
Yeah, nicely just leave out these etched bullets for everybody to find.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she said, what did he do? Bake some cookies in there too, and leave it and leave a note and said, "Be right back." So she can even see the bullshit in this.
If you read this, you are gay. What the fuck is that supposed to? What the hell? What? This makes absolutely no sense.
Who was that made for? You know what I mean? I
know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why we question everything, Barn. Right?
You smell that?
A lot of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit going on right now. Let's listen to a little more of what they have to say here, because they do talk about they found this guy down in Washington County, like you said, 3 to 3.5 4 hours south, give or take, how fast you drive. But it's quite a ways away, and then they brought him back. But I mean, this etching on the bullet, it's like, oh my God, what the? It just gets more and more bizarre and less believable.
That's the thing. If it's on the shell casing,
conveniently left to be found.
Yeah, who you're calling catch this fascist? That would be like, okay, so you're throwing that at Kirk, okay, but it's the casing. It's going to be left behind.
Yeah,
it's not the actual bullet.
Right. You would think. Yeah.
So who are you leaving it for?
Exactly.
I mean, it's classic Patsy, man. To me,
the aroma is pungent for sure.
Yeah, I think it just provides a little bit of insight. Cox didn't give tons of details about Robinson's political ideologies, just that he had some disagreements with but that I think provides a little bit of a window into maybe some of his ideology, and we'll work to confirm additional information.
You mean his mental derangement?
Taylor, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure you have a busy day of researching his background. So again, I thank you for your time, and I guess you'll go back to the newsroom and get to work. So thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, get out of here, girl.
We just received a statement from Courtney Binkerhoff. She's the spokesperson for the Washington County Attorney. Here's what the statement says. We're reading this for the first time, Kelly. It says he was arrested in Washington County last night after our sheriff's office and attorney's office received tips from local contacts of Tyler's Sheriff Brooksby and Jerry Jaeger coordinated with their contacts at the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. It goes on to say, I believe there's a second part to this, he has been transported to Utah County already. So again, we know the suspect here in the shooting, Tyler Robinson, right now is in the Utah County.
Yeah, well, so they caught him down there, brought him back, and that's fine, whatever, but it shows that he got away. Now, a couple little things that are very interesting that really add a little more twist to this whole thing. And I don't know if you've seen this. I'm sure you have by now. Did you hear about the plane that left Provo Airport?
I did hear about the plane. Yes.
Yes. Well, guess what? Isn't it convenient? There was a suspicious jet flying out of the Provo Airport that cut its, they say, tracker. It's a transponder.
Yeah, it's transponder.
Yeah, so the air traffic control can track you on radar and know what plane and your plane's identification number and everything is on their radar. It was cut. That's illegal. You obviously can't do that. So for someone, a pilot or whomever, to do that is quite suspicious. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? Is that related at all? And why wouldn't it be? Because it's obviously the timing is way too convenient. So what do you think?
One of my mantras, Barn, and I think you know this.
Yes.
Is there is no such thing as coincidence.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, are you effing kidding me? So does that not put in your head, people out there, and please put it in the comments, what you think about this? Does this reek of a patsy that was put down and the actual shooter was the one that was put in this mysterious plane that turned off its transponders so that nobody would know when or where it's leaving or going to? Excuse me. I mean, let me know what else could it be possibly, because no one turns their transponders off on a plane, private plane, commercial jet, whatever. You don't do that.
Yeah, isn't that a federal crime?
It is a federal offense. I don't know what the punishment is, but it's very much a no-no. A no-no, not a nay-nay, but a no-no. And it's really bizarre. So Candace brings this up. Now, Candace I've been on the fence with her lately because of things that she's been doing, but she does bring up some good points on these things. So it is very interesting. I'll leave this article in the description so you can read through this whole thing. The second thing she brings up now, this is where it starts to get a little worrisome, and that we cannot let these people dictate how we run our lives. They want to silence us. They want to silence us, the opposition, the people who have a counter argument to their ideals, their principles, their narratives. And the only way they can win is to silence us. Why do you think they were trying to get Trump off the ballot in Colorado and Maine and all these other places during the election? Not even let him be on the ballot. Because they knew they would lose. They can't win in a fair fight. Yeah. Why do you think we still have questions about the 2020 election when at 2 a.m. in the morning the ballot stopped and Trump was ahead of Biden on that chart there, and then all of a sudden when they got back on at 3:30, however long it was, all of a sudden Biden jumped way up here. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen. That's not an organic thing. That means something happened.
Yeah. Something nefarious was going on in the background.
We cannot allow people to silence us. May have to go about this a little differently. Charlie loved to be outside and do these things outdoors, but maybe these things have to be moved indoors. I know Tim Pool was supposed to do some stuff and listen to his podcast. He says, I don't want to do them. I'm canceling them all. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Move it indoors where you can control it better or something, but you cannot be silenced because of this shit.
Well, and if you do that, I mean, that it's just
they win.
Yeah, they win. I mean, that's what they were hoping for. That's what they were gunning for. And if you do that, then you're just playing right into their playbook. You know what I mean?
So why would they want to do that? Why would they want to silence their opponents? People like Charlie, people like Trump, people, in the Republican Party, other high-ranking political influencers like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, like this article says. This is the International Business Times. I think this is out of London or UK edition. First, Charlie Kirk, are Candace Owens or Ben Shapiro next? Fears grow for conservative influencers. There you go. There you go. That is what they're hoping for. They want to control. So why would they want to silence everybody who has a voice that's counter to what they and their narrative is? Why would they do that?
Well, I think it's obvious when you think about it is that they're losing footing.
Yeah.
They're seeing a shift in the way people are thinking and the way that people want to be treated and how people should be respected. And they're seeing a shift. So they're losing their grip.
Yep.
Losing their sheep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, they have never been able to win a fair fight. And so now,
never, as much as you people want to think, they have never.
Now, I think it was just like in the, right after the election, they are running around scared, like chickens with their head cut off, about what to do next, because they have nothing. So this was the last. Well, I mean, this wasn't the last resort, but this was next.
This was a big blow in their minds.
Yeah. They had to, unlock the safe and pull out the note in there because this is all they had left.
Yeah. Well, and this doesn't help. Here's the ironic thing. Like somebody mentioned before, and it makes total sense, and we've said this before, like Yamamoto during World War II, I think we just woke the sleeping giant when they attacked Pearl Harbor. And boy, were they right. And the problem is that we cannot sit here anymore on the conservative side. All we want as conservatives is everything that most everybody wants: safe streets, safe houses, clean air, clean water. We want our food to be safe so we can eat healthy. We want to be able to have opportunity to create a business or to do jobs or to work and to live our lives. We don't want to infringe on other people's rights, just like we don't want other people and other religions to infringe on our rights and things like that, and political ideologies to do the same. I think the vast majority of us want to do this, and I think people are starting to wake up and realize, wait a minute, I'm a Dem, I'm a liberal, and this is what my party is turning into. We're turning into a third world dictatorship. Ironically, they call Trump the dictator. Yet when you see what Biden was trying to do and silence everybody, and you see what they're doing now, trying to kill him, and now killed Charlie, and are threatening others. This is all they have. This is in their playbook. This is all they've got. And they're concerned because they're losing their base. They're losing people who have a brain in their head, who have compassion for humanity, and say, you know what, this isn't right. If this is what my party stands for, open borders, allowing people to come into my community and destroy our livelihood, or to take jobs away from the people who are here legitimately or here and having a tough time, these immigrants, illegals, are taking their jobs. They don't want this. We don't want this. Nobody wants this.
And I think that though too, I mean, the people that were in the middle of the road, they're starting to kind of wake up from the fog of the last 4 years.
Well, even beyond the middle of the road, those who are kind of over to the left a little to a lot, not the very far, like these assholes celebrating this shit.
Yeah. And they're starting to realize that what they had been preaching and what they had been going along with was absolute ridiculousness. You know what I mean? And again,
It's
like
insanity.
I think they're waking up from that fog and being like, oh, well, wait a minute. No. This isn't the society we need to build, and how we're going to gain people's trust, and and how we're going to move forward in a positive way. This is evil. This is destructive.
The
You know what I
only
mean?
way,
They're lies.
yeah, the only way, dude, the only way, and I don't mean to interrupt your point, but the only way these guys can have control and power is if they divide us.
Mhm.
So they pit us against each other. Black versus white, straight versus gay, however many, what your ideologies on gender, what your ideologies are on border, and whether you want open borders or closed borders, or you want sovereignty for your nation, your ability to move freely. You want to live free, or do you want to be taxed to death and have the government take care of you? I mean, these are ideologies that they're pitting against each other. Oh, we'll take care of you, cradle to grave. You'll own nothing. You'll be happy.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, they're catering to this lazy,
which they have produced and built over the years.
Yeah, this lazy ass,
entitlement.
Yeah, the lazy and entitled, population that, like you said, that they've created, and they're creating these robots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that
they're minions.
Yeah, that are just like, okay, you're gonna take care of me. This is how it should be, because they don't want to take on any responsibilities of real world life.
Yeah.
Or real world struggle, or real world.
Have to go to the office and work 8 hours a day in the office. What?
Yeah.
Crying have to do work
on social media.
Yeah,
crying about it.
Yeah,
really.
And they're sitting here like, oh well, Charlie, you people who are responding to Charlie, you guys are such hypocrites and blah blah. No, we're responding to the bigger picture. It's not just Charlie. It's what Charlie represented and what he represents, and what we're going to continue carrying the torch about is keeping your rights, your freedoms, including my rights and my freedoms and everything, to be able to not be overthrown by our own government. And that goes with the 2A, the Second Amendment, being able to protect our families, protect our property, protect people around us from the evil that is out there, no matter what. Whether you think you have guns or not, the bad guys will always have guns.
Yeah.
Look what they did in Australia. Look what they did in Nazi Germany and Austria and Hungary. But they took everybody's weapons.
That whole amendment was written with an underlying faction that it was to protect yourself against a tyrannical government,
which is what we've been seeing lately. Not in the last little year, but for the last few decades.
So does that make you wonder why they're fighting it? Why they fight it? Yeah, because you're turning into a tyrannical fucking government.
Yeah.
Oh,
when you have a senator or congressperson, whatever, saying that our rights are given to us by the government.
Yeah.
You've got a gaslighting motherfucker, demented piece of shit, controlling dictator who wants to control your life and not allow you. Who are you to say what my rights are, Senator? Because that's what you're saying. You and every other elected official tells me what my rights are. No. My rights are God-given. And you're going to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, then you're going to go sit there for don't infringe on my human rights.
Yeah.
Oh, well, are the human rights are those the only ones that you give me, or are they the ones that come from God?
And who are you to give me them?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Right. And this is what it's all about. This is what people don't get. So it's not Charlie himself. It's what Charlie was representing, what Charlie was trying to let the indoctrinated youth realize. This is more than, it's not just about that. We need to be able to have friendly discourse. We need to be able to have a differing of opinion and be able to discuss it. And at the end of the day, whether we end up agreeing with each other or not, and I still disagree with you, respectfully disagree with you. Great. Awesome. Wonderful. I don't agree with your disagreement of what, my opinion is over yours, but you know what? Hey, let's go grab some dinner and a beer or whatever.
I mean, that's how it should be. And it's like, I've always kind of been of that, thought is that, we don't have to, we don't have to agree on everything.
No.
We can agree to disagree.
Actually, I prefer we don't usually.
Right. Well, that creates a healthy thought.
Yeah.
And healthy
and question everything. That's another thing that would be great if everybody started to do.
Yeah, and like we said at the beginning of the show, and I think that even if you can put a tiny bit of question into somebody's thought process, just a tiny, because so next time they go to think about that, they think about that tiny little, maybe he was right. And same thing goes with me. You know what I mean? I get an opposition, to a belief or something that I have, and I think, well, maybe there's this.
Yeah.
Maybe you should take that into a little bit of consideration. Maybe not form a whole new opinion over it, but at the same time, at least see where this person or this situation may be coming from a different angle.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And maybe let's also stop the name calling and the vitriol and calling people you disagree with Nazis, racists, white supremacists, whatever, and pounding that home to everybody, because you're dehumanizing people when you do that, which is exactly what they are trying to do, and they are doing, because look at the way these people react to a death of a family man, of somebody that they may disagree with, but he still was a dad, a father, and he has 2 kids who are not orphaned, but they're fatherless, I should say. And it's the humanity that is lacking with a lot of these people anymore. And how sad that you would celebrate the fact that somebody got murdered in broad daylight in front of thousands of people, and also recorded for the world to see over and over and over and over and over and over again, and be desensitized to this. And just to end this off, I'm just going to put this shot of Charlie and his family back up on the screen. This is the type of person, whether you agree with his opinion, whether you thought he was actually one of the nicest, friendliest, most compassionate people that everybody has said who met him was. And just because he differed in his opinion and you thought it was something evil that he was trying to do, you're incredibly wrong and misinformed. But this is who was shot down, and this person could be your cousin, your father, your brother, your uncle, a nephew. I mean, and those could be your family members, and you don't know who in your family. If you're a raving lunatic leftist, you don't know who in your family doesn't agree with you necessarily, because we kind of we don't usually speak up, and but we need to now. I think we're done. I think I'm done sitting here being complacent, and you sit there and start spewing how you think Trump is a dictator and evil and racist and this, that, and the other. Hey, why don't we calm this shit down a minute? That's not. Yeah. Let's stop with this bullshit rhetoric, you guys, and start speaking up and saying, let's put a little human face on this, a little humanity back in our conversation here, and stop this. You might disagree with him, but let's not continue on with the name calling.
Yeah, let's. I mean, and make it even worse than it already has gotten.
Yeah. So we thank you for joining us today. I know we had a little bit of a different viewpoint, we hope, on this, made you kind of question things. But we must stop this. We must not sit and be complacent anymore, and kind of stand up for our point of view and say, wait a minute, no. You people on the left that want to support this type of rhetoric and vitriol coming out that spews anything that's conservative, anything that goes against them, with the name calling, with the vitriol, with all of this. Let's stop this. We can't allow it. We must stand up. We're not going to sit here and riot when we don't get our way. And maybe the left, you guys need to stop this shit too. When you don't get your way, you throw a tantrum and you burn cities down and all this shit, because I guarantee you, if Charlie Kirk, this person, was the equivalent on the left, you guys, shit would probably be burning down right now.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, and I wish it wasn't true, but it would be.
Yeah.
And are we doing that? No. So maybe you might want to think, the party that you're supporting, and really kind of think back to humanity. So we'll just end this on this note. I'm going to put this full screen. Sorry that this has happened to somebody, a human being, in front of their children and his wife, and thousands of people who witnessed it firsthand. The trauma that they must be enduring right now, I can't even imagine. And I just saw the video, and it still affects me all the time. So anyway, question everything, people. I think we're going to find a lot more out. Maybe we'll never know, but something's weird with that plane. Something's weird with the convenience of this gun and the weapons and the bullets that have these engravings on them. Something's weird. It's not right. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but something's weird, and this is by far not over yet. So anyway,
yeah,
question everything, gang. And we appreciate you joining us. This went on a little longer than we were hoping, but we just had to kind of get our opinion out there. This is affecting both of us. This is a half hour from us. This happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in our backyard. So anyway,
yeah, be better.
Last words.
Yeah, be better, do better for all of us.
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, appreciate you joining the Rude Barn podcast today, everyone. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.